House Democrats are quietly pushing forward a bill that takes away Secret Service protection from Donald Trump. I'll just get right into it and show you the bill. So it's called HR 8081, House Bill 8081. It's called the Disgraced Former Protectees Act. And I just want to go through this bill and show how literally Democrats, again, are putting forward this bill to make sure that Donald Trump will not have protection in the event that he goes to prison. It's actually a really short bill, and I'll actually give them props for that because obviously one of the big problems, and this is bipartisan, by the way, is that bills are too long. And for some reason, like 99% of Americans believe that bills are too long. They should be super simple, yet Congress won't just make them simpler. So props I'll give to Democrats on this bill is that they made it short and easy to understand. So we'll literally just show it. This is the whole bill right here. So again, this is in the House of Representatives. The bill, the first sentence says it all. The bill is to terminate United States Secret Service protection for felons. What is a felon that we know of that might be high target, maybe a little bit more in the news than usual? You'll notice the date that this bill was proposed, April 19th, 2024. There's no coincidence that Democrats at the same time of this, Trump was indicted on this loony case that he had falsified business records, a misdemeanor in New York. The statute of limitations had passed, all these things. And when we've talked about that before. But April 19th, they decide, just coincidentally, they decide if there happened to be someone out there that had Secret Service protection, we should take away that right and that protection if they happen to be a felon, which, in case the news media hadn't made it clear enough, Donald Trump is now a felon. So Section 1, it says this act may be cited as the denying infinite security and government resources allocated toward convicted and extremely dishonorable former protectees act. I actually think that's the funniest part, because the end, it's not like they can just be like, we're going to deny the infinite security and government resources allocated towards felons. They have to say extremely dishonorable former protectees, which for a fact that their hate for Trump and their Trump derangement syndrome got in the way of this bill a little bit, because why would they have worded it that way if they weren't talking about Trump? But the beginning is talking about, if you didn't know, you have infinite security under the Secret Service if you're a former president or other really large people that could potentially be targeted in a terrorist or like an assassination attempt. And that's a good thing, right? And that's good for all presidents, and I'm glad that it's there. But what they're saying here, and they kind of give their reasoning for it in Section 2, they say, this section is amended by striking declined and inserting declined. The protection authorized in paragraphs 1 through 8 shall terminate for any person upon sentencing following conviction of a federal or state, emphasis on the state, offense that is punishable for a term of imprisonment of at least 1 year. So that's the bill for you. No, the bill doesn't have Trump's name on it specifically, but we all know this is for Trump. I mean, come on. There's never been a former president that's been convicted, because nobody has had the gall to do that, to act like Stalin and convict the man and then find the crime later. That's exactly what's happening with Trump. And so the gall that people have to make this bill and then not just come out and say it's about Trump, it's you could call it brave if you want, but we all know it's about Trump. This was introduced, like I said, less than 2 months ago. And so forgive me and other Republicans or just people who love Western values for saying that this is a kind of conspiracy against Trump, because it looks like a conspiracy against Trump so badly. When you look at all these Democrats across, I'm talking about in the bureaucracy, in the executive branch, I'm talking about judges in the judicial branch, and then here we have legislators. All three branches of government are working together against Trump. It looks really deep statey. It looks really creepy that at the same time as this ongoing investigation and this trial was happening, that legislators decided to essentially predict what would happen to Donald Trump and say, if that happens, we should take Secret Service away from him. And that's the crazy part, the conspiracy side of it. Then there's the practical side, which the practical side is that Donald Trump wouldn't last 1 day in prison. If the Clintons can go into Epstein's cell and murder him, then believe me, the Bidens can go into Trump's and murder him day one. And that's if there's somebody that wants to kill him from the elite. That's one side of it. There's the other side, which is if you're an inmate and you hate Donald Trump and you've already murdered someone, you might just murder him in jail. It happens all the time. People are shanked, people are killed. They're in jail. Some of them are in there for life sentences, so they have practically nothing to lose. The idea that Donald Trump would be safe in jail, by the way, I have to bring this up as well. If he does go to jail, what are the sentencing terms? It's pretty much agreed on that the sentencing would be from 1 to 4 years, because you'll notice in the bill earlier, it stated essentially that the one caveat is that if it's less than 1 year, you would still be allowed Secret Service protection. His sentencing would theoretically, if he went to jail, would be between 1 and 4 years. So he'd be completely ineligible for that. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that's totally planned. The good news is as of now, Republicans control the House. I think there are many Democrats that would not go along with this. None of the Republicans will go along with this. So it's not in danger of being passed, but the fact that Democrats have pushed it forward is really concerning, and it shows how deep statey the United States has become, especially, I mean, it used to be that you knew weird things were happening in the bureaucracy, and you knew that legislators did weird things, but the judicial branch was kind of sacred. And we used to have a higher confidence in America, and I want us to. But when you look at what Judge Merchan has done and you correlate it to this legislature, it's really hard to look at that and not believe that everybody in the establishment wants Trump dead. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe, and watch another video.